Hey, budgeters. Welcome to another episode of Sensible Chat. I'm Sensible Bobby. Thanks so much for joining me today. Last week, we talked about the debt free secret, which is stop creating new debt. This is the first step to slaying your debt because you can't be debt free if you're still adding to it. We also talked about how to accomplish that. And one of the biggest ways is commit to spending only what you can afford today. But how do you figure out how much that is? Well, that's where your financial picture comes in handy. In one space, you'll see how much you're making versus how much you're spending and exactly how you're spending it. Let's look at a hypothetical situation and see where we are. If you're listening to the podcast, you may want to jump on my YouTube channel so you can see exactly what we're doing. So here's a hypothetical financial picture, and your expenses may vary, so you'll have to customize this for yourself. But if you go down, you can see all the amounts are listed individually for each expense. And at the bottom, there's a total of 3208.75. That is how much we are spending every month. So now we're going to go up to the top and to the right and look at our income. And our income total is $2,800 per month. So we can see that there's a big deficit there between 3208.75 and 2800. This means we are obviously still creating new debt because we're spending more than we're making. So we need to bring that in line. How do you do that? Well, you have to go through your expenses and see where you can make cuts. So here are some ideas I came up with for cutting our expenses. The first one is to cut our eating out entertainment line, which is $300. If we cut that entire amount out, our new monthly total is going to be $2908.75. That's a lot better, but it's still not enough to come in line with our $2,800 income. So we have to do more. The second idea is to cut the clothing line for $50 per month. If we can get away with not buying clothing every month, then we can cut that by $50, and our new monthly total is $2858.75. That's better, but we're still not there. So the third idea is to reduce our spending on groceries, toiletries, and cleaning supplies. Right now, we are spending $500 a month in that category. And if we subtract $100 from that, that will put us under our monthly income because that will bring our total to $2758.75, and our income is $2,800. Now, $100 might seem like a lot to cut out of your grocery budget, but that's for the month. So that breaks down to only $25 per week. So that just takes a little bit of tightening, and I think it's pretty doable. Now, of course, there are other ways that you can go on this, and you can totally customize this for yourself, cut wherever you want. But in our example, this provides $41.25 of excess income. That is what we're going to use to pay off our debt. Now that we know how much money we have to put towards our debt, we can move on to step 3. We've decided on the debt snowball method. This is the method I prefer because it gives you quick wins and keeps you motivated. It's the method that got me out of debt, and I highly recommend it. Here's how the debt snowball method works. On the financial picture worksheet, you're going to notice there's a section called debt. We have each of our debts listed individually here. And for each one, we have the total amount owed, we have the interest rate, and we have the minimum amount due. So we're going to take that information and we're going to put it into our debt reduction calculator. Since we have a total minimum payment of $425, we're going to go ahead and add the extra amount that we determined we have per month, which was $41.25. That comes out to $466.25. So that is the total that we're going to enter for our monthly payment here, $466.25. And you can see that that gives us an initial snowball of $41.25. Now down here, you'll see that the strategy listed is snowball, and that means lowest balance first. We've already talked about that. And down below, you can see that they have listed our debts in order from our lowest balance to our highest balance. They've also listed the months to pay it off and the month that we're going to be debt free. So if we follow this plan, July 2023 is going to be our debt payoff date. That is simply by adding $41.25 extra on top of the minimum payment due. If we change this snowball strategy to no strategy, let's see what happens. Actually, it says no snowball. We're going to change that. Now you can see that your debt-free date is April 2026. So just adding that extra $41.25 per month is going to cut your time in debt by 3 years. Now, this kind of boggles the mind. So let's take a look and see what's actually happening here. And we have what's called the payment schedule down here, and they've done all the math for you here. February 2021, we have a balance of $12,000. Starting in March of 2021, we are going to put our $41.25 of extra money along with our minimum payment due for the personal loan of $100, and that makes $141.25. We're going to keep paying this amount each month until this debt is paid off. Meanwhile, we're going to be paying the minimum payments due on our credit card and our car loan. When the personal loan is paid off, that $141.25 that we were paying every month to the personal loan is now going to be added to what we're paying for the credit card, the $75. And that's going to give us a total of $216.25 each month that we can pay towards the credit card until this debt is paid off. Hence the snowball, because you can see that the amount you're paying is getting bigger as your debts are falling off. So then the same thing happens when the credit card is paid off. You've been paying $216.25, and now we're going to add that to your car loan of $250, and your payments are going to be $466.25 to that debt until it's finally all paid off in July of 2023. So let's review. We've talked about how to bring your income in line with your spending, how to figure out how much money you have to put towards your debt, and how to determine your debt-free date. If you want the financial picture spreadsheet or the debt reduction calculator, you can get it in the show notes for this episode at CentsAbleChat.com. Take this week and really play with the numbers. See how much money you can find to put towards your debt, because this is going to determine how fast you become debt-free. We're going to save the next step, which is creating your spending plan, for next week. Your spending plan is going to help you put your debt snowball method into action. In the meantime, if you want help with your financial picture or the debt reduction calculator, get in touch with me and let's work together. You can schedule a free call with me at CentsAbleChat.com. While you're there, check out my blog post, The Diary of a Budgeter. And you can always connect with me on MeWe, LinkedIn, Parler, Gab, or USA.life. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Sensible Chat. And until next week, remember, do the math, live the life.